Howdy y'all, I'm Ice Gold, and today I'll be showing y'all the best level 170 myth damage setup. And as has been the custom with these, I am flat broke, so I'm missing multiple jewel sockets, so I'm down about 40 damage, but y'all can get there while I can't, is what it is. So yeah, let's go right into things. Show you all the stats. 263 total damage. If you have all 5 unearthly damage parados, and you're running, 5 circle sockets and all that, that is pretty crazy. I mean, 263 damage, completely free without having to buy anything other than a membership. I gotta say that now. Cool, but hey, resist is actually not so bad. Like actually. Myth has become a resist school per the Rochambeau wheel, so now Myth has been getting around the same amount of damage as usual, but they've been getting more resist. So that is pretty neat as well. So your resist as a Myth will go up, which is kind of cool to me, at least. So keep that in mind. And then the accuracy is perfect. You can even run a 7% just because of how the gear looks. So solid crit, block exists, and then you get 31 pierce if you take away the 1 pierce jewel that I've got on. So 31 is really solid. It is honestly enough to pierce through all of the Wallaroo mobs resist, I want to say, with a couple exceptions, and it does pretty well against bosses as well. So like if I was to fight these drop bears, for example, I would be able to full pierce them even if I, didn't have, oh, that is my feet deck, even if I didn't have this extra pierce jewel, but it is what it is. I would honestly still recommend running at least one of these just for the boss fights, and farming can be a little tough if you don't have a lot of pierce, but Myth is the school that gets the second highest pierce, so you could technically run the usual, 263 damage and 31 pierce and get away with it. So that's pretty neat. Perfect pips, as is the custom of these. And then P-Surge is, for some reason, I noticed that this is actually better than the other schools, or some of the other schools. It's still low, but, 593 is 593, and you get 25% off of that. Shads are alright, although obviously, if you want to not use a raid wand, then you can do that as well. You can give up shads in favor of some extra pip conversion, and that's totally fine if you want to do that. So let's go over the individual gear pieces as per usual with these. So for the hat, Eon, pretty standard. It's you farm this from the Eon of Atavis boss at the end of Novus in the Nucleus Gallery, so go farm that. You're gonna hate it, but to get the best hat, that's what you gotta do. For the robe, it is Nullity. This is by far the best, and it will remain the best after the Nightmare drops, because it gives, look at that. 15 res, 32 damage, 8% pierce. Somebody hit one of the chests, that's cool. But yeah, all of that for one piece of gear. So this robe is seriously insane, and honestly, Myth, as well as Death, have some of the best stats just in the entire game. So, if you don't have the Nullity robe, I would recommend joining a guild that does Voracious Void, and you can get it relatively easily. For the boots, these drop from Ren 1010 in La Ville Rose and Novus. You can get the side quest chain from Lassie and Nuva-Corgia if you are interested in that. Again, 8 pierce, 10 res, 41 damage. This is a pretty solid pair of shoes, and it's best in slot for right now at least. So go get these if you have it. Would recommend. For the wand, you can really just take your pick. You can use Eon or Jabalba. Both give the same stats, except Jabalba gives shads, where Eon gives pip conversion. So it depends on which stat you like more, or I guess the more accurate separator would be if you can beat Hunhao with your guild, which is a tall order for a lot of guilds. the raid is very hard. And I've got a raid highlights actually coming in the next week, so be sure to stick around for that if you want to scope, maybe check out some gameplay, and just check out the strat that my guild uses. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. So yeah, just get the Eon or Xibalba wands. The Eon wand does drop from the Eon of the Tavis boss, which means you'll probably get it while farming for this, or vice versa, so, you know, do what you will on that. Hopefully you are able to get them before you have to get, you know, 9 masterpiece hats or 9 masterpiece wands, because that is some cheeks, and it has happened to me, so... But yeah, for the Fame, it is the Fabled Dream Reaver Knife. This is, I mean, 25 damage. Think about that. Like, come on. 2 circle slots will obviously have Unearthly Damage Parados in them for the extra 20%, and then the square socket will take an Unearthly Health Parado, like you see here on my Xibalba wand, for an extra almost 600 HP, which is so good. So... once I can get a socket wrench, I will be using it on this. So, yeah, I mean, the new square jewels are honestly so great, and they're one of King Xiao's best ideas yet, so would recommend. Oh, somebody got the other chest. For the amulet, this drops from Crash the Bandit Coot out in the Wollongong territory. I almost said Billabong Resort, but Billabong Resort is where you get the side quest that leads you to him. Lady Cortexia on the left side will give it to you, and this amulet is best in slot for the blade card that it gives and the template that it uses, the jewel template. It gives all that res, as you can see, but it also gives a circle socket and a triangle socket, and with the setup, this whole setup, this is going to be the only triangle socket that you get, so as long as you socket, like, really, I think the math turned out to be like a 4% accuracy jewel. Like, you'll be totally fine in terms of accuracy. You won't be able to fizzle anything, shads or regular spells. So definitely get this and throw on that triangle socket, as well as the circle socket for the Unearthly Damage Parado. This is the 1 out of the 5 that I currently have, so this is best in slot. Definitely go get this. For the ring, it'll be the Fabled Dream Reaver ring. This drops from Freddy Croker in the Dreaming, which is just right through that barrier here in the Eucalyptus Forest, so definitely go farm for that. And then again, like the other accessories before it, the best jewels here are an Unearthly Damage Parado for the circle and an Unearthly Health Parado for the square. And then obviously, you know, a tier health jewel that you can get in Novus for that as well. Best in slot. It gives 20% damage, which is pretty crazy. And like all of that pip chance, and yeah, it's just really, really great. So definitely get that. For the pet, if you're running free to play, it can realistically be any. I just like the Medusa because, you know, an extra blade. So would recommend, but if you have the corresponding Bronto mount, you can make this on the respective Frilosaur, but you know, that's pay to win stuff. we don't do that here. We don't do gambling on the Ice Cult channel. Regardless, the talents that you're going to want are the 5 damage talents and either Mighty or Thinking Cap to boost them all by 1% for a total of 33% damage on one item. So that is pretty solid. 33% damage coming from the pet, so definitely go and make that. There are plenty in the kiosk. I am probably going to go offer mine in the kiosk as well after I finish recording this video, so if you want to hatch with Gus, it will be in the kiosk. The mount is the Battle Narwhal, still technically free, in quotes, because it does come from a bundle, but you can fish it up for free in the Polarian Explorers bundle house, so go get it. This is, I think, the only damage mount that you can get for free, if I'm not mistaken. There's really a limited number of mounts that or stat mounts that you can get for free, just in general. Like, I think the Mammoth Mini for outgoing and the Rock for pip chance, I think, are the only other 2. For the deck, you can use either the Dream Reaver deck or the Hunhao deck, just any that gives a circle and socket. Again, an Unearthly Damage Parado in that socket. and that will boost your damage by another 10%. So, pretty self-explanatory there. You can take your pick here. Although, I guess the pick for a lot of y'all is going to be the Reaver deck, which drops from Mr. Montgomery in the Doom Moon. So, you know, take your pick, like High Priest Yatasha for the Hoonhound deck, or, you know, a guy that you can farm on the main storyline. So, yeah, just as long as it gives a circle socket, it's good, but I think these are the only two that do. But yeah, that is going to wrap up. Again, just to go back over the stats, total of 263 damage if you have all 5 jewels socketed, and 31 pierce to go with that as well. So, very, very solid. Thank y'all for watching. I've been Ice Gold. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave like 50 comments for the algorithm, and I will see y'all later.